Post review of Marine to Life by Dominic Davison. Beautiful picture. This was one of the very first kits that I actually bought from Diamond Art Club. Let's pull that down a little bit so you can see the lighthouse, because we do love a lighthouse. One of the very first kits that I bought from Diamond Art Club. I actually sold the one that I had, my oldest kit, and replaced it once they started with the new drills and the drill field. I think I still managed to pick up the interim when they was changing their grid and updating their drills, and I've noticed, even though this is the newer, I think this is the newer drills on still an older grid, there is an immense amount of pop-in drills, and every time I move the canvas I just see another one catch the light. But all in all, I started it, so Ruth in our group did, in our DAC Fans UK group, she was running an event from the end of March and it finishes at the end of May. Excuse my keep coming in with my arms there. I'm just seeing popping drills as I'm moving it around in the light. Yeah, so she was running an event in our group from the the end of March to the end of May. So there's literally a couple of weeks left to go. So I started this at the beginning of April. I was a little bit late to start, and I've been off and on with I've had a terrible eye problem. And every now and again it plays up, so it means I have to I have to take a break. But yeah, all in all, fairly enjoyable. A little bit of trash, a little bit more than expected for trash drills, but not loads, but more than in some of the newer kits that I've done. As I said, I believe this to be a sort of interim one, so it's not as old as when it was first released. Just found some more pop-in drills. It's not as old as when it was first released, but as I said, I think it was interim. So any restocks since, I can't see that there'd be an issue. As I said, I think this was the tighter drill field, but still had some of the old drills, especially the darker ones. You tend to notice on the darker ones, drills that they have shards and not quite fitted properly. They're like concave. But yeah, all in all, it wasn't a bad kit to do, and I'm really happy with the picture. I'll show you at the end of the video, but I'm really happy with the actual result of the picture. It's just these pop-in drills, and for now I don't have time to frame it and hang it because I'm not actually sure where I'm going to put it. I forgot to mention Ruth's event. So that was the old kit, so it was the oldest kit in your stash, and the oldest kit in my stash is Christmas morning. But I figured as we were coming into summer, this was more appropriate. So I put Christmas morning to one side, which I will do eventually one year. I've had it about 4 or 5 years now. But yeah, apart from the pop-in drills, like I say, quality is normal. The canvas is lovely. Oh, God. The canvas is their typical really soft tarpaulin canvas, bends easily rather than folds. A big project. I'm thinking my next project might be a bit smaller. But yeah, eventually this will hang on a wall somewhere in my home. I particularly love the way that the picture looks like it's coming out of the frame. So you've got, oh, just nearly lost my pen as well. So you've got the edge of the frame, but then it looks like the water's coming out of the frame and onto the sideboard there. So, but yeah, the background comes complete with wallpaper. And so it's literally like a picture hanging. Oh, if I can, oh, bring you into shot there. There we go. So it comes with wallpaper as though it's hanging on the wall, but then you've got life outside of the frame. So you've got the bird there coming out of the frame. You've got, as I said, you've got the water spilling over. And then you've got, oh God, just dropped something else now. Then you've got the globe, the seagull sitting on the globe out of the picture there. So again, you've got your wallpaper, little anchor there, and a seagull sitting on top. So yeah, as I said, ultimately it was a nice, ultimately it was a nice kit, a nice picture. But as I said, these pop-in drills, I'm going to have to roll it up and put it back in the box for now. And you always roll canvases when you've got you put drills on, it always roll canvases drill side out. But what I'll do is what I do with all my completed pics, and roll it and put it in the dust bag that comes with the DACs, so that if there are any drills that pop off in the meantime, because they're popping but not actually coming out that I've noticed. But I did put my roller over a few times now. But as I said, just I'm moving it around in the light, I can just see every now and again I'll see popping drills. Which is a bit annoying. I mean, once it goes behind a frame, it won't make a difference anyway. But obviously you've got the lifetime warranty with Diamond Art Club. So if there is an issue, but as I said, the actual canvas, now it's complete, I'm pleased. And it was quite easy to do in sections. This part, obviously with the water, this was very confetti heavy, and I took to doing that last in the end. This patch here was with the crab. I did the crab, but the actual water running out here, I actually did as last, so I could speed up when I could see what I was doing. And the colour blocking actually made it sort of quite a break. But yeah, overall I'm happy with it. As I said, it's just the popping drills were a bit annoying, but as I said, once it gets framed it won't make a difference anyway. There's another one that side, you might hear me clicking them. But yeah, generally the newer canvases the drills fit nicely to the new grid. But as I said, I think these were older drills and newer grid. As I said, it was an interim kit, as opposed to my oldest, but it would have been my oldest if I didn't destash my original one. So this was the one I took to doing. And as I said, anything with a lighthouse appeals to me. Now I live by the seaside. Look at that lighthouse, how gorgeous is that? So yeah, so as I said, I'll do a schematic a browse over at the end. But as I said, apart from the pop-in drills, I'm quite happy. But I will be pleased to work on a smaller kit just for now. Just as a break till the end of May. And then it's our group's birthday in June. So we'll have things to do for that. But yeah, drop me a comment or a like below if you like the picture. If seeing my finish has made you think that you might want to buy it. As I said, it's a bit of mainly colour blocking, a bit of confetti, but not tons of confetti. There's a fair bit of colour blocking, and as I said, I ended up doing all the frame. I did all the wallpaper, then I did the frame, then I did the sky. I did the bird, the sky, and the globe and the books. And then I came down to the bottom. The bottom's a little bit confetti, but not too bad. It wasn't really until, as I said, I got to the sea and I started working on it, and it was jarring me with the popping drills. So I went back to the blocking, finished off the lighthouse, and then, as I said, just finished the cliffs. And then the last sections were here, because I don't normally work in sections, I work by picture. And the last bit that I had to do was this. As I said, I'd already finished the crab, but the last bit to do was this sea, which was quite confetti-fied, but I just literally had this open. This part was uncovered, and I just literally did one colour at a time until that bit was done. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye.